We are in the 80s, in town of Hawkins. We meet the four friends, playing D&D, Mike, Will, Lucas and Dustin. The story begins when Will disappears by a mysterious creature called the Demogorgon. When his mother Joyce and his older brother Jonathan realized he's missing, they demand from Jim Hopper to help. He's the chief of the police. The friends of Will search also for him. In the other story, we meet Eleven, a girl with shaved head, and she has some superpowers. Like I wanna say telekinesis and some other things we're gonna cover later. When a guy who has a restaurant finds her and calls like for help, the police let's say, but in the door appears a woman who works with a guy that Eleven calls Papa, and they made tests on her for her superpowers and all that weird stuff. So that weird agent, that woman, shoots the guy right in the forehead, but Eleven manages to escape quickly. In the forest, she meets Lucas, Dustin and Mike. While the kids were searching for Will, Mike takes her to his home. The boys discover also she has some telekinesis powers. Meanwhile, Nancy, the older sister of Mike, dates Steve Harrison. A douchebag I wanna say in the early episodes. Steve invites Nancy and his friends at his house party to get drunk and stuff, you know. Nancy didn't want to go alone because Steve's friends are kinda assholes. Yeah, so she brings with her her best friend Barb, who she's just been ignored the whole night. So when Nancy goes with Steve for some waka waka with, you know, to do the stuff, Barb is alone in the pool with her finger cut, and the monsters appears and she's gone like in a second. Jonathan, the older brother of Will, who was taking pictures of the party, he was actually taking pictures for Will's disappearance because he finds the bike there and, you know, he tries to cover the mystery. He took the pictures like before Barb disappears, so, you know, we have a clue here. Joyce figures out that she can connect in a way with Will with lights. So she makes like an alphabet with the lights of the house so she can contact him. They found a kid in the river and they say it was Will. Joyce obviously doesn't believe that this is Will and something's going on here. And also Jim Hopper finds out that that kid they found in the lake, it was a fake. And he also finds out about the experiments they made on the kids like Eleven. Eleven with her powers contacts Will with the walkie-talkie for a little bit in the upside down, the dimension where Will is. And also they believe, like the whole town, that Joyce has been cuckoo, like she's crazy, because that monster, Demogorgon, comes out of the wall when Joyce was speaking to Will in the upside down. Steve finds out that Jonathan was taking pictures and he breaks his camera. Nancy took the pictures that Jonathan had, and she figures out that whatever took Barb was what Joyce said came out of her wall. Hopper finds the gate to the upside down inside the lab, but they took him and he wakes up the next day in his apartment like nothing happened. He makes the place a mess and he finds out that his apartment has been bugged. Nancy and Jonathan investigate the forest to try to find the monster, but instead they found a mini gate to the upside down. I wanna say it's like an owl's nest. I wanna say like you know, imagine an owl's nest and it has a portal to the upside down. Yeah. But when Nancy is in that dimension, the Demogorgon follows her and wants to kill her. She manages to escape to our world safely. So Nancy was so scared and asked Jonathan, please stay with me this night because, you know, I don't feel good. But at that time, Steve crossed to the window of her room to check on her, and here is the misunderstanding. He thinks that Nancy cheated with Jonathan. In the morning, Jonathan and Nancy bind all the weapons they need for the monster, but Steve has been a little bit a bitch and he's been vandalizing the cinema. And Steve starts to fight with Jonathan, but Jonathan accidentally like punches a cop. We have the full team now, and they make Eleven use her full powers in a pool, so Eleven finds Barb dead. But she finds where Will is hiding in the upside down. But unfortunately, the monster finds Will and he's trying to hide again. Hopper, when he's been caught by the bad guys, reveals where the Eleven location is. for the exchange to go to the Upside Down with Joyce. Jonathan and Nancy are ready to fight the monster, but Steve is here and tries to apologize to Nancy, but he escapes. Joyce finally finds Will. 11, after a fight, destroys the Demogorgon, and here also. The kids reunite with Will and they say the story with 11 and what happened while he was gone. A month goes by. When Will goes to wash his hand, something happened. Hopper leaves food in a box because 11 is nearby. The boys go to the arcade where they found a mysterious player called Mad Max has beaten Dustin's score. Will, in the other hand, again like in the season 1 in the last scene, transfers to the Upside Down for a few minutes and comes back. A local farmer calls Hopper to say, "Hey man, what's going on with my pumpkins? They have been poisoned." The show introduces a new character, Billy, and her younger sister Max. But Max, you get the pieces together? Huh? Yep. Joyce dates Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, but here is named Bob. I don't know why. His name is Sam, not Bob. But anyways, the doctor who sees Will for the jumps to the Upside Down, he also is the guy who is in charge for the gate to Upside Down to never spread across the town. Hopper has adopted 11 as her daughter. He learns her stuff about everyday life, but he doesn't let her leave of the house because she will be more safe here and all that stuff. Billy has some issues. He actually almost ran over the kids with his car. In a party, Nancy says to Steve that their relationship is bullshit, and Steve gets mad and leaves her and they break up. Dustin finds a creature in his trash can and he takes it home. 11, after being fed up with being home all day, she tries to find Mike. So the monster that Dustin found was the thing that will throw up in the last episode of season 1. The monster takes control over Will and he draws a map. Yeah, we can call it a map. Hopper finds why the poisoning happens in the farm. He finds like a tunnel in the Upside Down, like it has been spread all over the town. 11 finds her mother, but she's traumatized for the day she got separated with her. Nancy and Jonathan team up with a conspiracy theorist. Bob helps Joyce to find Hopper, who is in the Upside Down after he fell in the tunnel. When Steve goes to Nancy to apologize and makes things right, finds out Dustin, and I wanna say there is that team up, and that's the whole, like those two are the Stranger Things. So we have the mini demo creatures and the gang tries to stop them, and basically Steve becomes a hero. 11, in the other way, learns she had a lost sister. 8, she trains 11. Meanwhile, the creatures are all over the Felicity and they are trapped inside, but Bob sacrifices himself so they can escape. We learn that the monster feels what Will feels. So 11 is reunited with a gang, but with Max is like nope. 11 goes to the facility to end this. The kids destroy the tunnels and 11 closes the gate to the Upside Down. When Nancy and Steve in the early episodes of season 2, they talked to the parents of Barb about what happened to her. So they make her at the funeral so she can rest in peace. And Hopper officially has 11 as her daughter. And we have a cute moment between Nancy and Dustin while Steve being proud of his brother from another mother. This season is about a Russian base who is building a weapon to open the gate to the Upside Down. Mike and 11 have a perfect relationship and Hopper is just so mad at Mike. Like, oh my god, he's like, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face, you little bastard. And because it's the 80s, we're going to the mall. Steve also works in the mall as a ice cream server, I don't know how to call it, whatever. He sells ice cream and he has a work colleague, Robin. All the mothers have the hots for Billy. Ooh la la. Dustin shows to the gang the new radio, which he has it mostly to communicate with his girlfriend that nobody believes that he has. Hopper really threats Mike for 11. He doesn't want him. Dustin finds via the radio the secret code from the Russians. 11 and Max become best buds. Billy has some issues after that monster dragged him in. 11 catches Mike that he has lied to her and he dumps him. Billy, on the other hand, kidnaps one of the girls who was working in the swimming pool. As a meal, I guess, I wanna say. Will gets very ignored in this season. I wanna say he doesn't get to play D&D with his friend because, you know, the friends are getting to grow up and they are worried more about 11 and Max and, you know, poor Will. Dustin, Steve and Robin, after some research, find what the secret was from the Russian that Dustin heard in the radio. It was a secret meeting. When 11 and Max go into the girl's house who Billy kidnapped and gave to the creature, everything seems like fine, like nothing happened. Billy was, "What are you talking about, Max?" Everything's fine here, with eating some cheese with some tea. But nope, they just feeding the creature without getting uncovered. The kids have an idea. They take Billy to a sauna because the monster is weak with the heat. Steven, Dustin and Robin trying to escape from the base, but Hopper and Joyce try to get in. Steve finds out a way out from the base, and finally the gang finds out what Billy has been up to, and the kids finds out the super weapon of Russians that they try to open the gate. When they try to escape, unfortunately they have been caught by the Russian and they have been beaten down and dragged, and Dustin and Erica save Steve and Robin. Dustin makes a contact with Mike and the other gang. Now everybody are together at the mall, so they need to destroy the weapon and close the gate between the Upsetime world and ours. Billy finds where the kids are and he's going to the mall for shopping. No, I'm joking, he's going to the mall to basically kill them. 11 fights Billy and reminds him that you are good. You know, you have some issues, but you are good. I believe in you. So Billy stands up to the creature and unfortunately dies. Hopper closes the gate and destroys the weapon. He apparently is considered dead. 11 goes with Will and his family so they can move away from the city. They say their goodbyes and they move away. We get a flashback with the kids who have powers like 11, but something happens, and when Brunner wakes up, see the bodies, but only 11 stands up. Now we go to the 80s again. We are in 1986. We see Jonathan, 11, and the new friend Agal. He's kinda smoking that, you know, that green stuff. Joyce is working from home, but 11 in her new school is getting bullied enough, but she lies to Mike via letters that she has made new friends and everything is fine, so you don't have to worry. Lucas in this season has been with the cool kids now, the basketball team. Jason, who is basically the captain of the team, the cool guy of the school. He has a girlfriend, Chrissy. Cool girl actually, I hope she makes it. Robin also has the hots for Vicky. So the gang, Hellfire Club, who they play D&D, and this like the last night for that D&D game. But Lucas is gonna miss it because he has the basketball game, so yeah. The leader of Hellfire is Eddie. He's like a cool guy, but a nerd also, but I wanna say cool in a nerd way. He's kinda weird. Chrissy has some hallucinations of the Upside Down, and that's not good. And she goes to the forest, but she sees a tree with a clock inside. Eddie comes few minutes after to sell her drugs, and they have some cute moments together, like those two can really work it out if they wanted. They deliver to Joyce a Russian doll that inside says Hopper, so we know he's alive. Erica joins the gang for the Hellfire Club. The D&D night happens, and they win the game. And in the other way, Lucas also wins the basketball game, but his friends aren't there. So Chrissy, when she goes to Eddie's home, she unfortunately gets possessed and she dies, like whew, very badly also. Eddie freaks out and runs away to hide, and when the police comes, he's nowhere to be found. Mike finally goes for a visit to see 11, but him and Will have some awkward tension. I wanna say he's like yeah, I'm here too, kinda. The police going to Jason to learn more about Chrissy. Dustin also explains to Max that he can't be the murderer. Hopper, in the other way, he's been tortured in a Russian prison and he's tried to escape, like the whole season he's trying to escape mostly. Jason will get revenge for his girlfriend. Reminder, he thinks that Eddie is the killer. By the way, something out of the theme now. I love when I see video stores like in shows and that. It gets me so nostalgic. 11 gets humiliated a lot again, like in front of Mike. And she basically makes her bleed. We see a real life Vecna who lives in the Upside Down in an old mansion surrounded by demon bats. Vecna searches for more victims. Jason is threatening Eddie's friends. Oh, also 11 gets in jail due to smashing that girl's head, so yeah. Joyce and Murray are going to save Hopper. Dr. Owen stops the police and takes 11, and he says to 11 they need to bring back her powers so she can save the world again. Lucas finally joins the gang for the investigation. Max starts to have more hallucination. Victor says what happened to his family that died like the others, but he escaped because he heard a song. When Max goes to visit Billy's grave, she gets possessed by Vecna, so we learn with music you can make your escape. 11 gets to meet Papa again, but she tries to run away unsuccessfully. Max tries to remember what she saw and she pieces together that is the Krill house where Victor was. 11 relives her memories and we meet Peter, her only friend at that time. So the gang are at the Krill's house. The house has flickery lights and we learn Vecna is right there but in the upside down dimension. The Jokes fight Andy and they try to get him, but Vecna takes them. Jason tries to take the whole town in his side, telling lies like the Hellfire Club is like a cult or something evil. The kids are in the lake to see if they can find any new leads, but Steve is dragged to the upside down. Eddie, Nancy and Robin follow him to save him. Dustin, Erica and Lucas try to help Steve to get out of the upside down, so they communicate with lights and finally the crew find the gateway. Hopper finds Joyce. Nancy, before she escapes to the upside down, she gets cut by Vecna. Peter was the test 001 and 11 was trying to stop Peter for the massacre and she banished him to the upside down. So Vecna is 001 aka Peter. 11 has finally her powers back. Will seems that he has feelings for Mike. The gang collects more weapons for Vecna and Steve says that he always had feelings for Nancy and he always wanted to have like a large family. 11 is reunited with the group and Papa has finally died. Eddie and Dustin make a big distraction for the demon bats. I wanna say here Eddie makes the best scene of the Stranger Things and he distracts the demon bats and Jason catches up to Lucas, Max and Erica. Jason accuses Lucas for harming Max because he's like dead here. Like she seems like dead. Eddie stays behind to the upside down so the demon bats can't come to the gate. Lucas and Jason fight. Dustin runs back to the upside down to help Eddie. 11 fights Vecna, but Max is almost dead. Steve throws fires to Vecna. Nancy shoots him many times and they take the win against Vecna. Meanwhile, Dustin fights Eddie, giving his last breath. The upside down is opening and kills Jason in the process. The whole town is a mess. After a while, when everybody is trying to recover for that catastrophic event, Dustin tells to Andy's uncle that he won't be back and that he was a hero and he didn't run away. 11 and Hopper reunite and now the final battle is about to begin.